Hello Aquarius, Elsie here to do your reading. It is for the week ahead. How are you doing, my smarty pantses? I hope you're good. I'm here with some oracles, as I usually am. We're going to throw those down for the overall energy for the week ahead, and then we're going to get some tarot on it, get some details for you. Let's find out what's going on for you, Aquarius. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. How are you, friends? Hope you're good. This reading is a general reading, and it is always going to be for the week ahead whenever you find it. Today, tomorrow, or next year. For some of you, it might resonate for week ahead energy. It can't resonate for everyone. We're not all in the same spot in our lives, learning the same things. And if you want to stick around to the end of the reading, I will tell you how to find the extended. There will be an extended after this in my membership area. Let's find out what's going on for Aquarius. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Aquarius. We have overcome any obstacle. All right, card number 5. So it feels like maybe as I'm throwing these cards that you're feeling like you're pushing on an obstacle, something that won't move. It feels like card number 5, of course, 5s are a little bit about lack, right? It's about not being able to accomplish something that you want to accomplish. So overcoming some type of obstacle, I feel, is the energy that you are going to be in next week. But I feel like this week, like right now as I throw these, I feel like you're currently pushing against something that's kind of immovable. We've got the rhino, right? The rhino spirit. And so it feels like you're pushing against something that's kind of immovable, but in the week ahead, I feel like you will overcome any obstacle. But this week you might be stuck in a little bit of lack. Tell me more of what's going on with Aquarius. We've got passion and pleasure. Savor your life. So instead of worrying about what you're pushing against that's not moving, I feel like you're supposed to just go to the path of least resistance is what it feels like. Savor your life. Instead of knocking heads with the rhino, right? Instead of saying, get out of my way, maybe it's time to just go around, because on the other side, I feel like there is passion and pleasure. And you should be enjoying your life here. We've got people, they look like gypsies. There's a little bit of a caravan here, and they're dancing around the fire of the full moon here. It feels like you're supposed to not be engaging in this lack energy of trying to push on something that won't move for you. I feel like you're supposed to just relax a little bit. It says begin now, take your first step. Maybe it's a first step on the path to relaxation. Feels like you're supposed to just chill just a little bit here and enjoy things rather than pushing against something that won't move. Tell me more about Aquarius. We've got power. And so power is the strength card. And so I feel like you're supposed to hold back a little bit, right? Power, the strength card is a little bit about holding back. But it's also about, just because you can, maybe, you shouldn't do it just because you can. Like, I feel like it's just because you can, it doesn't mean you should. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So it feels like you're supposed to hold back a little bit instead of trying to push, because maybe that thing is immovable this week, but maybe next week is the week that you overcome the obstacle. So maybe it's not time, right? Divine timing is all things. And so maybe it's not time for you to get over the obstacle. It feels like right now you're supposed to learn how to just pull back, right? If it's not a good day, then screw that day. I'm just going to pull back and have a shower or have a bath or whatever it is that I do to take care of myself, self-care. And it feels like holding back is sort of what you need to do this week, because it feels like next week is where you overcome the obstacle here. Okay, let's look at the bottom of the deck. We have surrender now. That's what this is about, right? This, I was just talking about surrendering a little bit. Just hold it back. Yeah, hold back. We all know you're powerful, right? You can hold back for just a little bit. We've got surrender now, the moth spirit. It's card number 12, and I feel like you're supposed to be listening to your intuition. And your intuition is probably telling you to stop pushing the buttons right now. Maybe the buttons will be more, will give you more action in the week ahead here. We've got begin now, take your first step toward this surrendering here. We've got solitude, which is, of course, the hermit energy. So I feel like, yeah, you're supposed to go inward. It feels like go inward to take your first step to surrender. And it's time to just surrender it and say, you know what, I'm just going to stop pushing on whatever's immovable this week. And I'm going to wait for next week where I'm going to overcome the obstacle. I take one more run at it and see see how we can figure it out here. All right, tell me more about Aquarius, please. What else do we need to know? Tell me more about Aquarius. We have the Four of Cups. We have the Star. That's your energy. We have the Death card. Oh, very interesting. Playing with the Four of Cups. We've got the Eight of Swords in the reverse. We've got the Queen of Wands. And we've got the Ten of Pentacles. The Knight of Wands on the bottom of the deck. It feels like you've jumped into something really quickly here. And I feel like you are trying to push it forward, trying to move it forward. And it feels like it's not moving forward. It feels like we're in this tug and pull with the universe. I feel like the universe is telling you with this Strength card is that it's time for you to hold back just a little bit. I'm looking at a sword in the sheath on the side, right? Just because you have the sword, it doesn't mean you need to use it. So I think that you have the strength and you have the power. And I think that you're using all of your power to try and push something forward that's not moving. And so I feel like this Knight of Wands is telling me you jumped into something really quickly and you're trying to control the outcome. And it feels like you've been trying to push it in a direction that it doesn't want to go. I feel like this Queen of Wands here, we've got a Queen of Wands and a Ten of Pentacles with the Death card. It feels like this Queen of Wands could be playing into the scenario here. This is Aries, Sagittarius, Leo energy, someone who's in their fire energy. This would be someone who's very attractive. They have a very attractive, sort of alluring, kind of sultry, sort of sexy energy, whether they're feminine or masculine. And I feel like there is somebody here that you're hoping that we're going to move into something long-term with. It feels like, I don't know, because it feels like with the Eight of Swords, it's like you've been in your head about it. You keep overthinking the situation, but I think it's because you're not listening. It feels like you're not listening to you, I'm going to say. You're not listening to the universe. We have card number 12 here, which is your intuition, right? 12 is the number of Pisces. And I feel like you're supposed to surrender to your intuition to figure out what's going on over here, because I feel like you're going the wrong way. It feels like you're in the labyrinth and you've hit a wall. And instead of going back the other way, you're trying to push the wall. So it feels like something here is coming to an end that maybe you thought was going to be like have longevity. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's a job. Maybe it's a path that you're on. But it feels like the Ten of Pentacles is like, it's like you don't want to turn back. You're like, no, this is the path. I said that I was going to go on this path. It's the fixed energy of an Aquarius, right? And so it's like, no, I said I was going to complete this. Now I'm going to complete this. But it ends up that you end up pushing on this thing that's immovable. So I feel like this thing that's immovable might be the Queen of Wands. It feels like this person is, they're very independent, right? Very independent, very fiery. This person sort of does what they want when they want to do it. And it almost feels like this person, maybe you want them to be your long-term person, but I feel like it's destined to end. I feel like you're hopeful with the Star here that the Queen of Wands is going to be the long-term thing. But it feels like with the Death card here that this is actually codependency, and maybe you haven't seen it for what it is just yet. So I feel like you're overthinking the situation. This seems to be a comfortable situation for you. This could be a job. This could be a person. It feels like for some of you, if it's a person, it probably is a fire sign that you're dealing with. But it feels like it's something that you jumped into really quickly because maybe you were very attracted to them, or the Page of Pentacles is here. Maybe you were looking for someone who was, how can I say, just starting out in life, or maybe someone that you wanted to mentor, or this could be, a mentoring situation. You jumped in to try and mentor someone to help them move forward in their life. But it feels like you've hit a place that is, that has an obstacle. And I think that you're still pushing in that direction, because that's where your comfortable space is. That's where your comfort zone is. That you are the rhino, right? You're the one that just bolts through it, like gets through the wall, or gets over the obstacle. And I feel like this is one that you're having a hard time with. The Eight of Swords is in the reverse, and I feel like you're trying to not overthink the situation, but it feels like this Queen of Wands like has power over you, I want to say. Whether they are feminine or masculine, it's like they have a power over you. Yeah. I don't know if it's because you're really attracted to them or really attracted to their energy, or maybe they have a leadership energy about them. So I feel like you don't want to let go of this person or of this situation because you're still really hopeful that it will work out. But I think that this is quite codependent. And I don't think you're the one that's codependent. I think someone's become codependent on you, but maybe you like when people are codependent on you. We've got the King of Swords. There you are. So I feel like this King of Swords energy is like you trying to get in your right mind, trying to figure out, I got to stop overthinking this situation and get the clarity of the facts. I got to take my heart space out of it here. I feel like you were beginning to build a life in your head with this person. Like, I feel like you already have laid out the path. Like you think that you know where this is going. The artist here is the one who is creating their own future, right? The person's looking out there and they're writing in the book, or they're drawing or painting or creating their own future here. And I think that you were in your mind, because the King of Swords and the Eight of Swords in the reverse, you were creating a future, a hopeful future with somebody here. But I feel like this is not the way you should be going. And I feel like you've been getting signs or symbols along the way, letting you know that this is not the way to go. This is not the path that you're supposed to be on. But I feel like you are sort of stuck in this energy of, no, I'm going to make it work. This is how I'm going to stay stable. I'm going to make it work. We've got one more card here. We have the World card. Yeah, it feels like the inevitability of something that's ending here. So we have the Death card and the World card. It feels like this was supposed to be a chapter in your life, Aquarius, but wasn't supposed to be the long-term thing. It feels like you are, if this is a person, you're very attracted to this person. They're very fiery. I think you would like that they are independent. And I feel like in your head, you've been building a future with them. But I feel like this is a codependent connection. But I feel like because I saw we have another page on the bottom, a page and a tower. There's some information coming here. So there is, I feel like you're going to realize in a moment's realization. It feels like with the Page of Swords, it's like you find out something, you dig up some information, or you come across some information about this person or this situation or this job that you didn't know before, and it shakes your foundation. We've got the Six of Pentacles, that I feel like you have a realization that this in fact was codependency, and that this person was kind of breadcrumbing you a little bit. It feels like this person is used to getting what they want because they look good. And in a world where people don't really care what's going on the inside. All they care about is if you look great on the outside. That's what's going on here. I feel like this person is used to getting what they want. They're used to just things materializing for them. Whatever the artist says goes, right? And I feel like you felt like this person was going to be your long-term person, or that this job was going to be the long-term job. But the fact of the matter is the Queen of Wands does what the Queen of Wands wants to do. And with the King of Swords, you've already mastered something. You've mastered the mind. Maybe you're quite educated. I always say there's masters, maybe a bachelor, maybe it feels like you're quite educated or you're very smart. And I feel like this person runs on fire, but you run on logic. So I feel like you made a logical path to this person, and that you thought logically the next step is that we go into this long-term thing. But I feel like the World card is here to say, no, this was just supposed to be a chapter, not supposed to be the rest of your life. So I feel like this is going to be something that is going to be hard for you to get over, because I feel like you already had the path, and I feel like you don't want to turn back. Now, you may not want to turn back because the King of Swords doesn't want to turn back. That's your energy. That's Aquarius. The King of Swords being a fixed energy, and I know fixed energy because I'm a Taurus sun, that when you make the plan, you want to stick with the plan. And if somebody veers off the plan, then you're like, no, we have to stick with the plan. I feel like somebody here, the Queen of Wands, is somebody who's just going to do whatever they want to do. They veer off the plan, but you stay on the plan. Therefore, you try and keep pushing it in the same direction you thought it was supposed to go. Well, this person is just doing whatever they want. So it does feel like this is coming to an end inevitably, because the World card is here with the Death card. And the only reason something ends is so something else can begin. And when the World card shows up, it's because another chapter is supposed to show up for you here. I feel like this Power card, this courage here, is what you're supposed to have. The courage to get out of your head, get out of your comfort zone, which is making things happen, even if it's the wrong way to go. I feel you're a person who likes to make your own destiny, but even if it's the wrong way to go, you'll go anyway, because you've already begun to draw the future. You've already begun to paint your future. And I feel like for you, the future was hopeful, but I feel like this Queen of Wands is somebody who isn't with the plan. You can't really control the Queen of Wands, and I don't think you're controlling Aquarius. That's not what I'm saying. But I think there's somebody in your life here that is stepping out of the way, that's not going with the plan. And I feel like it's going to end up that you're going to have to heal from that. I'm telling you about the Queen of Wands. We've got the Three of Wands. Yeah, this person has a different view of what's supposed to go on in the future. I also feel like this Queen of Wands might be somebody who is not necessarily the best at making decisions. It feels like this person is somebody who works a lot on the exterior of themselves, which means they look good. They do their hair great, they dress well, they smell good. You know, I feel like this person is someone who possibly values material things. It feels like this person had a different plan for the future, and I feel like they will cut out and do their own thing, because the Queen of Wands is independent. The Queen of Wands doesn't want somebody to plan their future for them. So it does feel like this Queen of Wands isn't necessarily with the plan, and that you're trying to push this person toward your plan. And I think it's just frustration is what it is. It's building frustration for you here. We do have solitude. We have the financial and material changes, and then we also have deception and envy. We are going to go into the extended, and we're going to talk about what's going on here. I think we have a lot more to talk about. What are you pushing against? Why are you pushing things forward when it's clear this person wants to do something different? I feel like they're somebody who isn't a good decision maker, and so I want to say that they do this, that, and the other thing, and you're the person who wants to stay on track or on path, and that's why this has to end, because I don't think this is a good match. I think there's too much fire or too much masculine energy. It feels like you're in the masculine energy. This is masculine leaning, but also has feminine energy. But then there's feminine leaning energy, but also masculine energy. But I feel like the Queen of Wands being Wands energy fire is masculine energy. So I feel like there is somebody, a feminine, who is in their masculine energy, who's trying to lead, but you're used to being the leader. It seems like it ends up in some sort of deception or envy when it comes to you. Deception, probably. Financial deception. It could very well be this person was trying to anchor you to some sort of financial thing. And we have solitude. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. If you want to come into the extended, please look at the top of all the comments. There is one pinned comment, which has, it says right there, if you want to go to the membership, in the membership areas where all the extendeds are. So you can click on that link if you want. Also, I am offering private readings. I'm offering them live, offering them pre-recorded as well. There are all sorts of packages there for all types of pocketbooks. So if you want to click on the link to Hypsee and go and check out my pricing and my schedule for live reads, if you're interested in a live read, then yeah, I'll see you there. I'm going to go now to the extended, but if this is where we part, then I'm going to just see you next week. I hope you're well, Aquarius. Thank you so much for being here and watching. Bye-bye.